Good morning from Be Happy Foundation. This morning I had gone to the gym and I heard that they are having a workshop or seminar on stress. They've invited some foreign professional to give a lecture on stress and well-being, so I thought that I must inform you all about stress before I go for that workshop. When to understand stress, health and well-being, we must first understand how the body is, what the body is, what the human person is. See, the human body is made up of 100 trillion cells. We are a society of 100 trillion cells, and these cells do all the work in the body, and they are surrounded by a fluid matrix or inert substances from which they take all the nutrition that they require. And they are driven by the DNA hereditary information that each of the cells has, and they make us do all the work so that we go out in the environment, get the nutrient for them, see that we are safe, and that's how we function. So our main job is to give the body the nutrients that they require, and of course eliminate the toxins that is produced. And see, because in the cell, the DNA information coded on by this information, the cells, whenever there is anything to be done, the cells make the proteins that are required, because proteins do all the work in the body of generating energy, making substances for repair and wear and tear and all those kind of things. All the work is done by the cells in the body. So we have to see that the nutrients that the body requires are given to it. Now, what are the nutrients that the body requires? Well, the physiology textbook says that there are 50 essential nutrients that we require, that we have to supply to the body every day. And if it is not supplied, then the body gets stressed. That is the main cause of stress. So what are the nutrients that we require? Besides oxygen and water, we require mineral elements. There are 7 major mineral elements like iron, calcium, magnesium and all those, and 13 trace elements. Then the second class is the essential amino acids. Now, essential amino acids, this is one thing most people have not heard about. So let me give you the breakup of all the 9 essential amino acids. It says there is isoleucine, isoleucine, leucine and valine. These are 3 branch-chained amino acids. These make up our protein cells are all made up of these branch-chain amino acids. So a sportsman, when he does a lot of heavy exercise, he loses these, and this needs to be provided to him, that branch-chain amino acids. Plus, then there is also lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, tyrosine and threonine. These are all amino acids that make up the protein. See, proteins are only a name given to chains of amino acids linked together. Whenever a few amino acids are linked together, that it makes up a protein. And there are over 50,000 different proteins in our body, and they require these 9 acids. Actually, there are 20 amino acids, out of which 9 of these are essential. These have to be provided to the body, otherwise the proteins cannot be manufactured, work cannot be done, and we'll fall sick. So these are the proteins. Since people are telling us to take proteins, but proteins have to be digested first. Eating, the alimentary in the intestine and stomach, the proteins are digested. Digested means they are the proteins that we eat, with plant or protein or animal protein, or whatever proteins you eat, are digested means they are separated into the 20 amino acids. And it's these 20 amino acids that go into the bloodstream, and the bloodstream carries the proteins and as well as oxygen and water and whatever is required anywhere to all the cells of the body. So what we require is the amino acids, and if these amino acids are not there, we are going to feel stressed, our health is going to suffer. The next, and since most they don't teach us this in school, see, because we are getting our information from professionals. Doctors are medical professionals, and a profession is a paid occupation. What does it say? It's a paid occupation, especially one involving training and formal qualification. And today all education and formal training is geared to make professionals so that they can go out and make money. So if people know about the amino acids, we will not fall sick. And if we don't fall sick, do you think that the pharmaceutical industries will make profits? Can you imagine how much loss it will be to the doctors and medical professionals? See, and we should know, medical professionals are trained in the subject of pharmacology. They are trained to treat the body with pharmacological drugs. And they have to know where exactly these drugs affect. Because if a drug will do good over here, but it will do bad over here. So they have to give another drug to see that this doesn't happen. And so they give a combination of drugs to see that overall we don't fall. We can manage ourselves and that part gets healed. But if we are already taking the essential nutrients as required in the quantities that they are required, we would not fall sick. So, and the one thing that they have kept hidden from the public is these amino acids. So, I would suggest that you all go through this book, Amino Revolution, the breakthrough program that will change the way you feel, Robert Ederman. This is on amino acids. They will tell you how amino acids can be used to cure stress, cure all sorts of problems, or prevent those problems. The other book that I would suggest is this one, What Your Doctors Doesn't Know About Nutritional Medicine May Be Killing You. This is by Ray Strand. This is a cheap book, 100 rupees book. You get it on Flipkart. I just order it from any of the websites. See, it is essential that we take care of our health, because there was a report in the, when was this, 1998 American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, which said that less than 6% of the graduating physicians, that means medical doctors, have any formal training in nutrition, because they are trained in pharmacology, drugs. They are not trained specifically in physiology. Physiology is the subject of how the body works, and it works by converting the nutrients into all that work that we need to do, and eliminating the toxins. That is physiology. How that happens is a study of physiology, and physiology study it through the principles of physics and chemistry. That's a pure science. But this science is taught, physics of the body is taught to physics and engineering students. It is these biophysics postgraduate students, graduates and PhDs in biophysics. They are the ones who design all the pharmaceutical drugs, and the bioengineers design all the medical equipments. But the doctors are not trained in that. They are the real engineers and physicists of the body who know how the body works. Doctors are merely medical technicians. Doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists are also professionals. These are all businesses to make money. So we have to remember that, and we have to know what exactly specifically a person is trained in. See, because today clinical psychology originally was the study of the psyche. Psyche is psychic energy. Today we have clinical psychologists who are assisting the psychiatrist who give drugs, medical drugs, whenever anything happens, they put a drug in your brain to make you feel nice. And the psychologists, today clinical psychologists, they say psychology is the study of the mind, not the psychic energy. So we have to know all these small things, what these professionals do, what are they trained in. Otherwise, our health suffers. But they put drugs in your brain, psychiatrists. The brain is a collection of 100 billion neurons, each making about 1,000 connections with the other cells. That means there are 100 trillion connections in the cells. So that many messages are being transmitted every moment in the brain. So any foreign particle, even from the body, if it can do damage to the brain. So that's why the brain has a blood-brain barrier. But these pharmaceuticals, they have designed drugs that will go into the brain and affect away. But when they grow over there and affect, we don't know how it is, and they create problems in the brain mechanism. So it's better to deal yourself with nutrients because they are safe. So I was talking about amino acids. Then there are the essential fatty acids. There are two, linolenic and linoleic. These are the omega-3 fatty acids. These are essential amino acids. We need to take them. If we can't get them, they are available only in fish or in flaxseed oil. If you don't eat that, I better take a nutrient omega-3 supplement. Same thing with amino acids. Today amino acids are made available in free form. Free form means they don't have to be digested. They just go in the blood and straight away go into the bloodstream. So these are available in the market today, free form amino acid supplements. Next is the vitamins. Now vitamins, there are 14 of them or 15 of them. I won't name each of them, but in vitamins what they have done is the recommended daily allowance fixed by the doctors, medical professional, was fixed in 1940 when we didn't know much of the physiology, and the recommended allowances are so small that we fall sick. Like for instance, now the Harvard Medical School's family guide tells us clearly that today they know that homocysteine is a chemical and a substance that gets formed in the body. High levels of homocysteine lead to angina and heart problems. So it says that it is prudent, it clearly says over there, it is prudent to take 100 mg of vitamin B6, 100 micrograms of vitamin B12 and 400 micrograms of folic acid in pill form every day if your homocysteine levels are high or if you have a history of angina in your family. They have asked us to take 100 mg of vitamin B6, but the recommended daily allowance of B6 is 2 milligrams. So 50 times more we need to take, and B6 is very important for all the nervous, neurotransmitters are made from amino acids. If any one of them is missing, that neurotransmitter won't be. But those neurotransmitters, to convert them into, for the amino acid to get converted into neurotransmitters, you require vitamin B6 most of it. So if that is lacking, you will have nervous and mental problems, stress problems. So that much for vitamins. And I would suggest you read this book. And the other is essential nutrients, inositol, choline and carnitine. Inositol is important for stress. Cortisol is released when stress is there, and inositol, I think, makes that. Choline is very important for memory, and the Dummy's book on memory says that if you shortchange yourself on choline, you shortchange on your memory. Alzheimer's diseases are caused mainly by this deficiency. And so choline is another important, these things need to be taken. And if not, we develop stress. Now what is stress? In physics or in physical sciences, stress is a measure of internal forces or instability that develops in a deformable body as a result, as a reaction to external forces or environmental stressors acting on the body. So whenever external stresses are, we get stressed. And when we get stressed, our body's reaction is the same. The adrenaline releases cortisol and Cortisol increases the. See, when you are stressed, and we get to develop instability, we need to generate more energy to counteract that stress. And that is done by producing energy in the cells. Now each cell requires the amino acid, vitamin B3. B3 niacin is the main NADH curve cycle, and all those cycles of making energy in the cells require niacin. And so cortisol is released so that our metabolic rate increases and we produce more energy, but niacin gets depleted. So if we don't get niacin, that causes problems, even further problems. We can't deal with the stress, one thing, and niacin is such an important manufacturing energy, the most important nutrient, you can say. And when that gets depleted, the tryptophan from the brain, which is required in the brain to make serotonin is not there, you get depression. So that tryptophan amino acid gets converted to niacin, and so tryptophan gets depleted, and then you develop stress, depression, anxiety, all these problems you develop when niacin is not there. Plus, when you have a stressor, we have to fight that stressor. We have to eliminate that stressor from the external. So our body develops an autonomic response of releasing adrenaline. So lots of adrenaline gets released, and that adrenaline is what it peps you up. It creates that fight or flight stress response. You got to fight that stressor and remove it, or you got to run away. Basically, these are the anger and fear responses. So if you do lots of adrenaline is released. Now adrenaline, what is it made from? Yeah. This is from McGraw-Hill's textbook, Vander's Human Physiology. It says dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. Epinephrine is what they call adrenaline in America. So these are called catecholamines, and the catecholamines are formed from the amino acid tyrosine and share the same basic synthetic pathway. Here the synthetic pathway is tyrosine gets converted to L-dopa, and L-dopa gets converted in the brain to dopamine. Dopamine gets converted to norepinephrine, and norepinephrine gets converted to adrenaline. So if adrenaline is depleted, tyrosine gets depleted, and because tyrosine also gets depleted, dopamine, which is very important for learning, emotions, motivation, that gets depleted. So unless we supplement the body with extra tyrosine in times of stress, we will have deficiency in these catecholamines, dopamine, norepinephrine, and adrenaline. And this book says over here that these neurotransmitters play essential roles in states of consciousness, mood, motivation, directed attention, movement, blood pressure regulation, and hormonal release, all functions that will be covered in later chapters. Yeah, this is from page 206, Biological Control Systems chapter, from Vander et al.'s Human Physiology, the Mechanism of Body Function, 8th edition. So, if tyrosine gets depleted, we are going to have problems in states of consciousness, that means all psychiatric problems. Mood, we are going to have mood problems. Motivation, our motivation will suffer, we lose pep. Directed attention, that means we start suffering from attention deficits. Movement, behavioral problems probably. Blood pressure regulation, so we'll start having problems with blood pressure. So all these problems are symptoms of tyrosine deficiency. So we need to take tyrosine if you are heavily stressed, and all these problems can be reduced. The first moment of stress, if you take them. Yeah, and next is we need to also do a little bit of exercise, because exercise, the bloodstream flow becomes more, and so that the bloodstream doesn't get clogged and all the toxins are removed. That helps in removing it. So exercise is also. So with this, you will be well on your way, man. You don't need all these professionals putting drugs in your brains or giving you all these stupid advice. And these psychologists, they don't even know how to deal with anger and fear responses. They don't know how to make your kids control their anger response or fear response. Instead, they'll say, "Oh, he's got attention deficit. Send him to a psychiatrist and put him put drugs in his brain." And that's how addiction has started. I mean, I've talked long enough about this now, and so I hope you all do something about it and take care of your. I want the sportsmen of our gym to be strong and pep it up, man. You can do it. Yeah, of course, there are other things like yoga. I mean, meditation, which you can see my YouTube's on Bhagavad Gita. That's a meditation, the best meditation ever. Yoga, I put some yoga asana thing. Yoga asana means asana has to be perfect. Asana means posture, and the posture has to be perfect. Otherwise, it's a bhogasana. Yogasana and bhogasana. If the posture, yogasana is, asana is sthira sukham asana. It has to be firm, stiff, and it has to make you happy. If your posture is wrong, it will not make you happy. And so this is very important. Where all these yoga gurus and all that, I don't know. They're all boga masters. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that, but many of them, you see, they don't know what posture is, and they're teaching yoga. So I mean, you have to be careful whom you take your knowledge from. So I wish you all the best, and if you take these nutrients, these two books, just go through it, all your problems and stress and health will be, and 99% of them will be over. All the best and have a great day.